Hi, I'm August Keller, and this is my review of Superman. So, I found Superman to be slightly over ambitious. Not the worst thing, it's actually admirable, but it kind of suffers of getting in its own way sometimes. Primarily, it sets up a lot of intriguing drama, but that often gets sidelined for a very dense plot. There's a lot of things happening, and there's a lot of side characters who are kind of crowded, and so they all end up kind of feeling flat. The dialogue, while quippy at times, is also exposition heavy and feels a little blunt at times. The arcs are kind of stifled, almost underdeveloped. Like they set them up fine, but we don't spend enough time with them to really feel their full impact. So yeah, it's just a little crowded, and that's a shame because it does a lot of things well too. It weaves in a lot of humanizing tones. Like there's a speech at the end that talks about what it means to be human, which I found effective. There's personal conflicts. Not always. Sometimes it feels a bit too big, too grand, too much going on, but there are personal conflicts in the story. There's a lot of casual world building, which I liked. It was just kind of like, it felt a little effortless. Like I didn't have to remember these things. It wasn't just pausing to world build. The world building was just kind of around the story, which was very nice. And also there's some political commentary. There's kind of a lot actually, and I don't know how that all gels together. Like there's a lot of pieces here, and it can feel a bit clunky, especially with the range of humor. There's like a lot of different kinds of humor, and there's some serious drama too. And yeah, it doesn't always fit well together, but it always has this sincere personality, which makes those shortcomings forgivable. It's a bit noisy, but it means what it's saying. It seems like it's really trying to be fun, and it is fun most of the time. So I'm not mad at it. I just feel like it needed a little trimming. So yeah, the acting, a lot of the side characters are kind of confined to one note, especially Lex Luthor. I was a little underwhelmed by what the pages did for him, but I think the acting does elevate it. There's a lot of chemistry, intensity, and there's a good amount of vulnerability too. And also, I appreciate that the narrative really skips the tired origin story. It just skips right over that and gets into establishing him as a hero and his morality as a hero. So yeah, Superman works best when it slows down. I wish it had done that a little more, but it still works. Technically, Superman shows a lot of potential, but kind of clashes with itself, like I was saying. The direction feels a little muddled. The tone kind of jumbles, but it seems to be really leaning into the campy adventure tone, and I think it did that well. It really had me buying into the camp and the adventure and kind of making it feel like a family film. The cinematography can get murky, but but it also is elevated by a lot of like golden lighting and shallow focus and these like intimately framed wonders where the camera is like center framed really close up, and the shallow focus like kind of really puts you into this like immersive feeling. The editing, I would say, has good momentum throughout, but also feels a little chaotic in its pacing. Like I said, it doesn't slow down enough, and it's just kind of going through things a little fast, and sometimes it feels a little jarring. And I wish I had more time to breathe here and there. The sound has a few match cuts, which I thought were very good punctuations, and it has a lot of genre elements too, like action, sci-fi, fantasy. It's doing a lot of work. The music harnesses the classic John Williams theme, and also has some well-timed needle drops. I think the closing song really is a good one. The production design I found very refreshingly quirky. It's got this colorful retro futurism. Everything's like there's a lot of analog instead of digital, which I liked. It's almost like outside of time in this alternate universe. The cast has strong fit and breakout fame. Seems like people are really ready to accept this new Superman, and I don't blame them. He did it well. The effects I found to be a little too CGI heavy, especially in the end. It just kind of becomes a CGI fiesta. But there are a lot of effects, and there are practical touches like prosthetics and pyrotechnics. So overall, I found Superman to be a promising start. I wish I could say that it was just outright good, and I really, really liked it. I think it's almost there. Like there's a lot. There's like a great movie in here. It's just kind of surrounded by too much stuff. I think they just wanted to do it all, I guess, and I'm not mad at that. And it's still a good movie, but I'm a little hesitant to call it great. I don't want to call it great, honestly. But I think if they kind of just build off of this and slow down a little bit, I think the next one could be great very easily. So yeah, I liked it, but I wish I loved it. So yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I also have an Instagram linked in the description. I'd love support there as well. But at the very least, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks. Bye.